Hello everyone. So myself Siddharth. I'm a technical consultant working primarily focusing on SharePoint, Office 365 and Azure. Today I will be presenting an SPFx solution which will allow us to add JavaScript and CSS reference onto the modern pages. This is the link to the sample which is available in our SPFx web parts repo. So driving factor first one of the main driving factor was how we can make SPFX extension configurable, right? So as we know, with modern pages, we are not allowed to edit the master page. So if we wanted to add any JavaScript or CSS file references, we have to use SPFx extension of the type application customizer through which we can inject JS and CSS file reference. And as Vesa mentioned, again, this is a debatable topic whether we should be doing it or not. That is a different story. But for now, the primary focus is, in case wherein if the organization or the customer which you are working on had very strict branding guidelines, and we might have to use custom CSS customization on all the modern web part pages, then there might not be other way rather than using the customization using CSS file. So another driving factor is if we are using the SPFX extension of application customizers, the references which we wanted to add, we need to add it in the code itself. So it would be kind of hard coded in the solution. And if we wanted to remove or add existing reference, then we might have to change the extension code again, redeploy the package. And also, if suppose we think we can also make it, it won't be reusable. If suppose if you have two different site collection wherein we need two different references, different set of references, JavaScript and CSS references for each site collection, then we might have to build two different SPFX solution, one for site collection 1 and one for site collection 2. But in this, the solution which I would be presenting, it's kind of a reusable solution wherein we can use a single solution across your tenant, and it can be used across different site collections, and different JS and CSS file reference can be added onto the modern pages. So this solution demonstrates the usage of web part and extension. Now we are connecting the web part and extension. This is interesting. I mean, via custom actions. So, okay, we are using custom actions to activate and deactivate an SPFX extension. As I said, it will allow us to add the custom JS and CSS file reference. It will also allow to add or remove the reference. It supports a relative URL and a simple security reason. I mean, we don't want any user who has access to the site to allow or use this web part. For that reason, simple reason, I have added a simple permission security wherein the users with managed permission will be only able to do the operations. Okay. So coming to the demo. So this is the web part page, and this is the web part which would allow us to add the custom and JS file references. See, on the page load, it will check whether there are any existing JS or CSS file reference which have been added via this solution. If so, it would be loaded. Otherwise, it will allow me to add new. It will also allow me to add new JS and CSS reference. For the demonstration purpose, and as simple as I can make, what I did is I created a custom JavaScript file where just I'm alerting simple alert box in the JavaScript file, and in the custom CSS file, I'm just changing the background of the left navigation. And again, a warning here. I mean, we should not be using this kind of customization, which is heavily dependent on the page structure, because in future, if Microsoft change something onto the page structure, our customization can break. But this might not be a solution. But if you think about it, if we wanted to add any external JS or CSS reference which you wanted to use across multiple SPFX web part, and you wanted to add references onto all the modern pages, still this kind of adding references by application customization can be used. Okay. Now, so coming to the demo, if what I can do is I can just add JavaScript, add JS link button. I'll just copy the reference to the JS file. I'll say add here, and I will also add a reference to my custom CSS file. Once I have done this, I'll just activate it, and it will activate the application customizer. And if now I'll refresh the page, the JavaScript file and the CSS file customization which I have done would be activated. So if you see, I can see the alert box which was there in the custom JS file, and the color of my left navigation has changed, right? And as I said, if the web part already has some customization been done, it also allows to edit the reference. It also allowed us to add new references, or it also allows us to delete the references. So now for now, I'm just deleting the JavaScript reference. And if I say activate, it would automatically update the application customization. And now once I refresh the page, I won't see the alert box because I have removed reference to the JavaScript file, but the CSS customization would be there. So one more feature here is we can altogether deactivate everything rather than doing individual. If you wanted to deactivate, I can just say deactivate, and everything would be deactivated, and I should not be see any references would be removed, and the customization also would be removed. Okay, so this is the demonstration of the web part. Going to the code, as I said, we have two components. One is SPFx extension, which takes care of injecting the scripts, JavaScript references, and CSS file references. I'll come back to this later. And in the web part, we have the extension which will have the user interface. So I'm using PNP mix of PNP controls and Office UI or Fluent UI controls to create the user interface. And on the page load, the first method which would be called is to check the permissions. Okay, so here again we are using PNP.js to check whether the current logged in user has managed web permission. If so, he would be able to allow to move forward. Otherwise, we would be displaying a simple access denied error message onto the web part, and he won't be able to use that particular web part. Coming to the page load method, on the page load, we are checking whether we are first reading the current custom actions which are registered onto this particular site collection. And then we are filtering based on the custom action title. So this is kind of a custom action title which is kind of hard coded, so that I can compare it, and I can also read. I can also add it whenever it is required. So based on the title, it will check whether the custom action has been registered already. If so, it will basically read the client-side component property. So this is the interesting part. Okay, how we can make an SPFx extension customizable. So associating the client-side component properties attribute of a custom action would allow us to pass dynamic properties to the extension also. And we would be passing while we would be registering the custom actions. So once we get the properties, we are passing that particular JSON and categorizing into JS file references and CSS file references. And then we are setting state so that it would be displayed on the page load. Right now, coming to when the user clicks on activate button. So this is the method which would be calling. And here, if we see, this is the payload through which the extension and the custom action is getting connected. Okay, now the title, as I said, it is something which I have hard coded in the code itself, so that I can compare it later when the page load is happening. The location of the custom action should be of type application customizer, and the client side component ID is the the application customizer component ID, which we can found in the extensions manifest.json file. So this is how the the custom action is connected to the extension. And I'm setting the client-side component properties which the user would have selected. And then we are checking whether there is a current custom action which has been already registered. If there is no custom action which has been registered, then we are adding a new user custom actions. And then if there is a custom action which is already registered via this solution, it will basically update. So PNP.js library has been used to perform the custom action operations here. So this is how the extension code is been connected with the web part, and it can be made configurable so that we can allow user to pass some properties to our SPFx extension via web part, and the extension will do its work as soon as the extension would be loaded. So that's it from the code side. Before moving on, I just wanted to add one interesting read here. which was helpful for me, which is available at this Microsoft Docs link. From this particular paragraph, I got an idea wherein, though it says that we can associate a client-side component ID with the field customizer in the documentation part, and we can associate the properties also. But this is from where I got the idea that we might be able to use it in the other extension types also. So that's it from my side. Thank you everyone for listening. Over to you, Vesa.
Thank you, Siddharth. Let's not close to the discussion yet because we still have a few minutes. Can we go to the code? And just to pinpoint there, the sp.web. The user custom action, and that's where we add or get we operate the user custom action there exactly. So this one, just for those who are not super familiar with this one, this is an object model and structure which have existed in SharePoint since 2010. It is 2020 now, so it's kind of interesting. But it's being kind of a classic way of embedding scripts or references to scripts on a pages, and basically Siddharth's solution is taking advantage of exactly the same classic option, where we are then adding it gives you the capabilities of adding a script URL or an actual script, and then it will be executed as part of the page. You could actually set this also in the site collection level, but typically in a modern SharePoint experiences, one site is a one site collection. So because we're heading to this direction where we talk about hub sites and rather than sub sites. So therefore, quite often adding this to the web object would be enough. Unless I'm completely wrong, if you would do sp.site.userCustomAction, that would be available there as well. And the implementation would be exactly the same. Is there a sp.site? Yeah. And user custom action should be there as well.
Yeah, it is there.
Yeah, so this one, if you'd add the script or a setting in here, it would actually impact all of the sites within the site collection. And like I said, this is quite classic script embedding scenario, which we've been using in SharePoint for addressing gaps in the product for quite a few years already. Well, almost more than a decade already, which is kind of scary as well. And just to recap, which we mentioned, so you should only use this in the scenarios where customer says that you need to do this or you will lose the deal or whatever. So it's not, because the problem is really here is that your code is not in the native extensibility point, and that might mean that your code will not execute in all of the scenarios. Well, we'll execute the user custom action, but for example, if you get a dependency on the CSS IDs or elements in a page, which will be changed at some point, which is the typical way of hiding stuff or modifying stuff. Like in this case, thank you, Siddharth, you basically have the SP left navigation. We do not guarantee that the DOM structure, so basically the structure of the page, is an API. It's never intended to be an API. It should not consider it as an API. So therefore, the DOM structure, the structure of the page, including the CSS style names, might actually be changed without us letting you know about that, because we don't guarantee that as an extensibility point. Again, you can do that, but there's this dependency on things. And then obviously we were looking into having more aligned and in quotes railed experiences of doing exactly what is being done here in a more safer ways. And those are the extensions and how the things which we can do with the SharePoint framework. Anyway, thank you, Siddharth. Thank you, Siddharth, for walking through what I was actually saying. So awesome job on that.